together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Good morning. Barely morning, but it is. It is morning. For 8 more minutes in Colorado. Pretty sure I shared it there. It's not. Let's share this from one more place. There we go. That'll work. Happy Thursday. I hope you're having a good day. Let me know. Yeah, here it comes. What? Everything's open. You got everything you need. You're like, I want the window open. I want the window open. Is that what you want? Okay. Here comes a very large cat. All right. So we're going to do on the beam, off the beam. You can't tell me that. He's like, no, I don't want to tell me that. I don't want to tell me that. Meow, 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 meow. So it looks like could be happy. All right. See you dude. Almost threw him on another cat. All right. I'm doing this for somebody, so I'm kind of hoping they show up. I was going to do this yesterday, and then I was like, yeah, I don't want to. And I didn't. I got tired. So, I also want to talk a little bit about, let's do captions. Welcome, Daily Trudge. My name is Dion. I'm your host. If you're here, please say hello, whether watching the live or the rewatch. Go to chat. Go to the chat. Let's get started. So, staying on the beam. I'm going to be reading this. So, I'm not going to see the screen for a little bit. Today's most commercial flying is done on a radio beam, a directional beam that is produced to guide the pilot to his destination. As long as he keeps on this beam, he knows he will be safe, that he is safe, even if he cannot see around him for fog or gets his bearings in any other way. And this goes along with faith. Sure, goes along with faith because we cannot see faith. We cannot see our higher power, but we have to put our trust into something. And even though, I don't know, because this being tends to think that we're directionless, and I don't think that we are. I don't know that we are directionless, but you could put this along the lines of being in the sunlight of the spirit or not being in the sunlight of the spirit. But in the beginning, and I understand what they're saying. This is just you know that you're on the beam if you're this, if you're not, it's gonna be different attitudes. It's gonna be different emotions. Yeah. So let's keep reading. Hey, Gary, good to see you, dude. As soon as he gets off the beam in any direction, he is in danger, and he immediately tries to get back onto the beam once more. Yeah, we can't be off the beam for long, can we? Why don't you want to open the donation? That's just weird. Why would my pastor want to donate? Okay. As soon as he is off the beam in any direction, right? In that case, what is that for us? That would be resting on our laurels. Resting on our laurels would be one way that we are off the beam. We're going to have a whole list of being off the beam. Those who believe in the allness of God have a spiritual beam upon which they navigate on the voyage of life. As long as you have peace of mind and some sense of presence of God, you are on the beam and you are safe, even if outer things seem to confuse or even very dark. But as soon as you get off the beam, you're in danger. What's another sign we're off the beam? Well, we need to be in our own lane. Anger is probably the top one. Fear. Hey, Michelle, good to see you. Good to see you. This was written by Emmett Fox, by the way. He has a book called Around the World or something like that. It's too Christian-y for me. But he has some good stuff, obviously. You are on the beam. You are off the beam the moment you are angry or resentful or jealous or frightened or depressed. Ooh. I know a lot more to be off the beam than on the beam, huh? And when such conditions arise, you should immediately get back on the beam by turning quietly to God in thought, claiming his presence, claiming that his love and his intelligence are with you, and that the promises in the big book are true today. It says Bible. I changed it. I'm not going to talk Bible. Hi, Ingrid. I'm doing your thing. I'm doing your on the beam, off the beam. So on this, what he says is to get back on the beam is to pray. I think that's good, but for us, I think helping another person is probably the answer. I think work with another alcoholic, work with another person would save the day. That's going to get me closer to God quicker, honestly. Because I can say that to God and not do anything. But without action in my life, I'm not going to get anywhere. And he's probably going to say next, then you should do, he's probably going to say that. Very good chance of it. I don't, we're all spiritual here. But we're certainly open-minded. Emmett Fox got some cool stuff. I would not bring this up in an AA meeting though. If you do this, you are back on the beam, even if outer conditions and your own feelings do not change immediately. You are back on the beam. You are back on the beam and you will reach port in safety. Keep on the beam and nothing shall by any means hurt you. I don't agree with that. I get hurt all the time. I got hurt yesterday. That's just part of, but these are good things for us alcoholics, right? To remind us just real quick, hey, where are we at? You know what? I'm angry. I'm feeling resentment. This is dangerous stuff for us, right? So this is a good way to remind us because, this is a good example because we need different examples. Period. This would go with drop the rock. Okay, let it go. How many times do you need to say, okay, the rock is your emotions and your character defects. So drop the rock, let it go. There you go. Now you understand the book, Drop the Rock. Yeah, that's why we have here. That's why we have here, though, so we can talk about these things. Because I think this is a good topic. I really do. Just because I don't agree with everything doesn't mean I'm right. Just so you know. Okay? Just because I don't agree doesn't make me correct for you. All right? So here, you're allowed to have your own opinion. And in this case, it is a little opinionated. And that's okay, because what does that do? It opens it up for discussion. And we might have a hard discussion. We might even get a little angry, but we're going to find out what's right. And that's what it comes down to, the right thing. What's the truth? What is the actual truth of what's going on with me? And this on the beam, off the beam can tell people, oh man, hey, you're off the beam. Oh, I need to check that. See how quick that can change my mind? The on the beam, off the beam can keep you pretty accountable, man. So let's list off what's off. I'm going to go off the beam first. Okay. I'm going to go off the beam first. Dishonest, fear, inconsiderate, pride, greedy, anger, envy, impatient, intolerant, resentment, hate, self-pity, self-justification, self-importance, self-condemnation, suspicion, gluttony, sloth, rejection, frightened. Oh, no fighting. So these are pretty good, and these are all things that we talk about a lot. We talk about these things a lot. Hi, Patricia. Hi, Patricia. Ingrid, great topic, by the way, Ingrid. This was Ingrid's suggestion. And this seems to be working really well. I like this because I didn't have to think of shit. I didn't have to come up with nothing this morning, and that was nice. So if you have a topic that you want me to cover, I do reserve the right to say no. Because sometimes people give me topics and I don't understand. So, but I will always do my best. I will always do my best. So those are things off the beam. What's off the beam? Pretty much everything negative. Right? And what should happen in our head? Danger, 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 Dr. Robinson. Danger. Boyd Robinson, because I don't remember his name off the top of my head. Bill, Phil, not even close. It's not even close. I don't think it is. That's going to bother me. Why is that bothering me? Okay. It's still bothering me. So on the beam, and we're usually on the beam. We're usually on the beam. So let's talk about the good stuff. We've really talked about being off the beam. And that's usually what AA is. It's usually racking dilemmas. It's sorting out problems so that we can get through the day. I'm going to give you a quick thing that I do is just listening to about social anxiety. A good thing to do when you have social anxiety is to try and make the other people feel more comfortable. That's the secret. Doesn't that sound a lot like AA? Oh, I'm thinking about me. I should get out of self. I didn't think of that. I'm like, oh, because I'm having I. See how much I'm thinking about me? And the more I think about me, the worse it's going to get. So therefore, I have to distract it. It's kind of like in the big book, it says, if you're going to go somewhere, add to it. don't go on with a bad attitude. Try and go and make it better. All right, so let's talk about on the beam now. Well, it's just going to be the opposite of everything that they just said. I guarantee that, because people are lazy. Honesty, faith, considerate, humility, giving, calm, grateful, patient, tolerance, forgiveness, love, self-forgetfulness, humility. Humility's on here twice, by the way. Modesty, self-forgiveness, trust, moderation, action, acceptance, courage. It is missing open-mindedness, willingness. It's missing a lot of things that we do. But they just said they're saying it different. They're saying, I like you that humility's on here twice. I don't think they did that on accident. I don't think that they put humility on there twice by accident. It may have been an accident, but in this case, it's not an accident. Humility. Humility is the key to staying on the beam. Understanding that without God, I am just a piece of flesh meat walking around. I'm just, but that's the neat thing is today it's okay for Dion just to be Dion. No, I've noticed lately that, because I don't know if you noticed, but I kind of pulled back on talking about my personal life here. Yeah, I pulled back a little bit because, I'm tired of people using it against me. It's not fair. So no more pearls for swine. It's just it's what I decided. There are some things that I won't cover unless you pay me moolah. I have to do something. I even told Adams County, I'm like, if you need help, let me know. $100 an hour. I will charge them. I will send them something. I'm worth it. I'm worth that. I am. I'm kind of waiting on some things. All right. So being on the beam and off the beam has to do with kind of our attitude, but very much has to do with our attitude, because if I have a bad attitude for the day, there's a good chance I'm going to be off the beam. That means I'm going to be closed-minded. I'm probably going to be running around telling people what to do instead of asking people for help. I will get into my demands. The expectations will come out. Okay. The expectations. That is something that I am watching kill whole relationships right now, is expectations. Yeah. Don't put expectations on people. First of all, it's not fair. And when you put expectations on people, you're just setting them up to fail. So that way you can feel better about yourself. And that's off the beam. That's very much off the beam. I need to understand. I also need to understand what my lane is. I need to understand what my lane is. Because otherwise I will go out there and start to help people in the name of goodness, but really what I'm doing is I'm just forcing my will upon other people. When it comes down to it, that's what I'm actually doing. Okay. So here's the only expectation you should have with people. You can expect them to be human. You can expect them to fail. You can expect them to treat you badly. You can trust that they're going to talk behind your back. You can give them it. Just give it to them. Let them have it, man. Because there's not anything you can do about it except be a better example, which is hard to do. Oh, I know it's hard to do. Right? See, I'm trying to be a good example. That's why I want to be in front of a lot of people, because I want them to see the example that I make. Okay, including the mistakes. I'll talk about mistakes. In fact, my mistakes are some of my gold. Yeah. But since I worked on them, and now that I have at least some self-esteem, I do. I have some, not a lot. But I have enough to understand that I have enough courage to make changes in this life. And that is very much my beam. Yeah. And you'll know when you're off the beam. Because you're not going to be happy. That's the sign. That's the sign. Okay. And hopefully you have people in your life that come along and say, hey, Dion, you're off the beam. What's going on with you, Dion? Why are you acting like a dick? Okay. We have to have those. Those are the people in your life that care. You know. Yeah. You know, and I've been thinking about that that also. The taking of other people's inventory. Oh, what is the beam? Okay. The beam itself. All right, I'll do a little bit of repeating here. Now, it's not a problem. Read the first part of this. Today's most commercial flying is done on a radio beam. So what he's talking about is this beam that is used for a radio. It's just an unseen beam. But if he stays on that beam, he will be safe. He will get to his destination without any problem. He deviates from this beam even just a little bit, and he ain't gonna make it. Now he's in danger. He might hit another aircraft. He might run into a mountain. There might be a lot of, maybe an alien spacecraft. Okay. So, and yeah, there you go. It's a balance of motion. So it's emotional sobriety. So when we stay on the beam, we're doing what it is that we're supposed to be doing. When we are off the beam, we are usually making demands. I guarantee you're making demands. I have a lot of people demanding things of me right now. And I can tell you, when you demand of me, you will get nothing. You won't get anything. You'll just meet a wall. It'll frustrate you. Because I'm not going to talk to you if you're going to sit there and call me names and look for the bad in me. I ain't going to do it. No. Yeah, that could be it. Balance. Yeah. You give it like a gymnastics beam, where if, the beam is a higher power. Yes, that's what it equals us. Yes, Michelle, that is true. And yeah, people will notice that you have change. They will. And they're going to do one of two things. They're either going to attach to you, or they're going to run. They're going to attach to you or run. One of the two. Once you get to a point where you're spiritually fit, that does happen. I am spiritually fit, okay? But I have to exercise that every day, or I will not be spiritually fit. Because what do I have? I have today. I have today only. I get a daily reprieve. That's all I get. A daily reprieve. I don't get a weekly reprieve. I don't get a monthly reprieve. I don't get an hourly reprieve. Well, sometimes I might get an hourly reprieve. But what I get is a daily reprieve. And that reprieve and my spiritual condition is contingent on my attitude. That's why I do this right after I wake up. It helps me change my attitude. Because I usually wake up fighting because of my dreams, which have lessened as of late. They're not some of the dreams, but they're not as scary, which has been kind of nice. Still drunk. Still have drinking dreams. So, right? So, we have choices. We have options when we wake up in the morning. When I was drinking, I didn't have options. I wasn't given choices. So when I wake up in the morning, I got a couple of choices. Okay, the first one's going to be my solution. What solution am I going to use for today? Am I going to use the alcohol solution, or am I going to use the HP solution? I'm going to pick the HP solution. But now I still have another choice. Am I going to have a good attitude, or am I going to have a bad attitude? And just like yesterday, when my mind started going towards that bad attitude, I asked myself a simple question. Dion, what are you going to do today to make the world a better place? There it is. Now I'm on the beat. All right. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I appreciate it. It's good to see y'all. Michelle, Gary, Ingrid, Patricia was here. Looks like we had some floaters coming in and out, which is always good. So thank you all for being here. I appreciate it. I love you. Peace out. And have a day.